So I have an interesting theory today, and it's not exactly like a story-based theory. It's more of just a writing theory as to why Pokemon is written the way it is. Well, obviously we all know that Ash lost again in the next episode of the Kalos League, whatever. It's just anyway. Ash lost in the Kalos League, so I'm thinking that the writers probably aren't making Ash lose. There's a lot of evidence to this, and I really think that the Pokemon Company is forcing them to make Ash lose so that the anime can continue. For one, they've also had the past losses Ash has had in the league. Some of them in the leagues feel very like underwhelming and rushed, such as Charizard not listening, which was really lame, and especially Tobias, where they just literally brought him out of nowhere, where he had two legendaries. I mean, how are you supposed to beat two legendaries with a normal team? You don't. That's the point. His XY series loss made literally no sense. It had so much build up. Ash Greninja is the strongest thing we've ever seen, and it's just unlikely that they wanted him to lose. Not only that, but he wins when he can. He wins the side leagues. He's won as a Frontier Brain, and he's won, I believe, as a in the Orange Arcablow. Probably because the Pokemon Company was okay with them making him win for those side leagues because they're not major leagues and they're not, part of the major overarching story, and they're not actually like he could win the Orange Islands, but then continue on because he's not actually a champion of any region because the Orange Islands are only islands and don't actually have gyms, and the Battle Frontier is also not the league, and there's no champion to it as well. So I think there's a lot of evidence here that points to the fact that Pokemon Company is forcing the writers to make Ash lose every single season. Not only that, but there's also they brought in Black and White's writers, which I believe are their actual original writers for every other season, like season 1 and until now, basically, when they replaced them. Maybe because those writers know how to write a weird loss for Ash, they know how to make him lose when he seems like he's going to win, because they've done it many times before. And, I mean, that's the only logical thing I can see here. It doesn't make any sense for the writers of Pokemon themselves to want Ash to lose. I mean, if you were writing a story, why would you want your main character to continuously lose? I mean, unless you have no pride at all, you want your story to be good, and like the best way to make it good would be make your main character eventually slowly overcome his enemies and win, right? But like Ash never overcomes his challenges, he never completes League, he's never going to become a Pokemon Master, he's never going to be 11 plus, which again, maybe that's another thing the Pokemon Company is forcing on the writers, is that Ash is always 10. It would also make sense because they've made it so that in the story that Ash has had 1 year anniversary with Pikachu, which means he should be at least 11 at the very least, which even then I think he's had another year anniversary of his birthday or something. So Ash should at the very least be like 13 or 14, maybe 12, at least 11 at the very least. The very minimum, Ash should at least be 11, and at the maximum probably like 16. And so it makes me think that maybe the Pokemon Company forces them to also make his age be 10 because they've celebrated his year anniversary before, and it makes no sense as to why he had a year anniversary but it's still 10. It's not possible. Like a year should have at least passed, meaning that Ash should be 11 at least. And then after that, like not only that, but like just exploring an entire region in a couple of months, like that. Or they said that there's a video on this I might even put in the description, like asking how old Ash would actually be if they wouldn't make him always be 10, and that's where I got 16 from because they said that in that video and it seemed logical. I'll go ahead and like link that video in the description somewhere. But yeah, so that video like clearly explains like Ash should not be 10 anymore. Like as they also said something in the Hoenn region, like it took them a few months to travel through, and it was like okay, well then it should take you a few months to travel through everywhere else in the same amount of episodes as well, meaning that at least a year should have passed. But although I'll go ahead and let you guys watch the video if you want to hear how Ash is actually should be 16, but isn't. The only thing I don't understand is, like, a lot of people are saying that Ash could not become the champion and then continue. When really that's not true, because Ash wants to be a Pokemon Master. He wants to be the master of all Pokemon, meaning that he wants to win every single league probably, have every single Pokemon, and that is what a Pokemon Master would be. Being a Master does not mean you have won one league and are the champion of one single region. That's not really okay. Not only that, but a cool series to do would have Ash either win this league, establish a league in Alola, and then they replace the Island Trials, and then after that it would be kind of cool to see Ash if he doesn't do that, or if he does do that anyway, go off and maybe do the other leagues that he couldn't win before with this new Kalos team, or bring in his old Pokemon as well. Like, so it would be cool to see Ash maybe bring in his old Pokemon to win these past leagues. Maybe it's the same team, I don't know, but maybe it's some new of his new Pokemon, like Crocodile and whatever Talonflame. But it makes me really think that like the Pokemon Company is really forcing the writers to make Ash lose because of the fact that he's won some side leagues, and a lot of his losses have been pretty rushed and don't really they're not a cool conclusion. They're kind of just they're pretty lame. Like they're not really a cool this wasn't a cool it's not a cool way to end the series. It's just okay, Ash lost because Charizard didn't listen, and because it's a bias of a ton of legendaries. That's not really a cool way to make Ash lose. And at this point, the only real thing we have to hold on to is that Ash and Serena will eventually confess their love to each other, and they'll get they'll go on a date or something in an episode, or they'll maybe go and Ash will beat Team Flare. They'll find out Elan was part of Team Flare, consider him a criminal, and then they will give the trophy to Ash instead. Or Ash will save the Kalos League, and they'll give him the trophy instead. It's just kind of weird because it's just Ash was runner-up in this, and it just feels like it just doesn't really make any sense for him not to win. So anyways, guys, that was my theory. So maybe we don't want to blame the writers for this. Maybe we want to blame the Pokemon Company, but I don't really know. I don't know the truth of whether or not this is the writers doing it on purpose, or it's the Pokemon Company forcing them to do it. I don't really know. But my theory is that the Pokemon Company is forcing the writers to make Ash lose so that they continue the anime for as long as they wish. And I mean, it could be that, or it could be maybe Ash, they don't want to make a new protagonist and risk it for a biscuit, because they know that Ash is popular already, and, developing side characters that are replaceable is a lot easier. But anyways, guys, that was my video for today. Maybe we don't need to blame the writers, maybe we should, I don't really know. But this is my theory, that the Pokemon Company is forcing Ash to lose, is forcing the writers to make Ash lose, and, yeah, anyways, guys, thanks for watching, bye.